Hello and welcome to all football extremers. Welcome to the show that brings you all things football, Football Extreme. My name is Kwabena and my two co-hosts are here along with me, Bonga, the DJ, and Tlagani Ponene. How's it, guys?
Hello, football extremers. Welcome to another episode of Football Extreme.
Yeah, welcome, football fans. Let's do this.
Yes, let's do this indeed. So, guys, we've got a jam-packed show for you guys. Yes, definitely. And we're just going to be just talking. One of our big talking points has been a crazy football weekend this weekend. Big teams making big plays. A lot of teams falling by the wayside who thought they were title contenders. But let's see. Manchester City just walking the dog on Tottenham Hotspurs, guys. What happened there? 3-0. What's your points?
Yeah, Pep Guardiola is closing another title. So just sit back and watch the space because he's going to be knocking teams left, right, and center in the upcoming weeks. And the train is moving. The Man City train is moving and it doesn't seem like it's stopping anytime soon. And there's still Kevin De Bruyne to come back in the team. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Nene?
Yeah.
Who can stop the Man City train?
Yeah, look, it's gonna be difficult for anyone to stop the Man City train. The only thing that can happen is what happened with Sheffield beating Man United, which was a shock result. So the only thing that can happen is for us to see a shock result. Maybe a West Ham beating City, but I don't. On paper, it doesn't look like anyone is gonna stop the train. But yeah, look, this is the season of upsets. So let's see. Maybe there will be one team that is highly unlikely that they're gonna slow down long enough for other teams to catch up. So.
Okay, so what changed then? Because I mean, 2 months ago, everyone was like, "Man City is off the boil." They were sitting in about third, fourth spots, and then turn of the year, these dudes are now on like a 8-game winning streak now. They've lost their best forward player in terms of Aguero scoring goals and Kevin De Bruyne, who feeds them assists. But the dudes have stepped up. The other guys have stepped up. Phil Foden has come to the fore at his young age. So DJ, what are the ingredients or the key ingredients to City's success so far?
Hunger. They got the hunger back, and you see Jones back to the form that he was when Man City bought him from Everton. Gundogan is playing like his old Dortmund days. Raheem Sterling, what can I say about the guy? He's thriving in the role. Yeah, as a whole, Man City, the confidence is back, the swagger is back, they are winning, and they are not conceding goals. You can see João Cancelo is coming to the team as well. He's performing.
Yeah.
So a player like Kyle Walker is now having to watch from the sides while other players are taking over. So, yeah. So, yeah, the hunger and the determination, I think what Liverpool done last season kind of like made them take a hard look at themselves, and Pep went back to the basics. He got his team together, he got the players that he needed. Also, he has Benfica as well. He improved the defense because Otamendi went the opposite direction and Diaz came to City, and you can see whoever is partnered with at the back, he has an understanding and they're getting clean sheets at the back.
Okay. Nene, what's your take? Who do you think can chase City down between Leicester and second, or Man United, or anyone else who's able to chase City?
Yeah, look, Ubonga made some valid points in terms of the defensive aspect, where irrespective of which combination they play, a centre back, they seem to deliver the goods, and that's the most important part, where they're no longer shipping in goals. That's the first tick towards winning the league. Keep it tight at the back, and then let the guys in the front do what they do best. So the other teams that you've just mentioned, defensively, they don't have the same, um, they don't have the same players, you know, that can keep clean sheets, you know, start at the back, play the ball away from their box, which the other guys do quite well. So yeah, for those teams to do that, I don't think they've got the players for it. So they can challenge for second spot. It'll be between Leicester and Man United. But it's going to be difficult, especially if Leicester wins against Everton. Then there's literally no ways that any of these two guys can catch up, because Man United dropped points against Everton and West Brom. So if you're chasing City, you know, you can't be losing you can't be, and they were actually winning the game against Everton, you know, 3-2. And then last minute, they drew the game. You know, same thing, they went down against West Brom. And if you're chasing City, we just go 4 up in a game, and you're busy grinding out results. At some point, you probably get tired, and you're like, "Hey, maybe we don't have the legs for this race." You just never know. So yeah, these guys have got it. These other two teams are just gonna chase for second and third, and yeah, that's it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Speaking about grinding out results, as you're saying about Man United dropping points, they drew to West Bromwich Albion, 19th on the Premier League table. And West Brom scored first, and then they had to come back. So have they run out of gas, or was just a blip? What is in the offing? DJ, tell us what's happening with United.
Defense. The defense is bad. It sucks. Harry Maguire for £80 million. Come on. Give me a break.
Yeah.
You buy a guy for so much money, and then the guy will perform like a £20 million player. What? I don't know. And you partner him with another clumsy guy, Lindelof. I mean, come on, how long has this guy been at United? And he's not improving. Other than that, he just keeps making schoolboy errors at the back. And another culprit, Town Sabre. That guy is costing United a lot. I mean, you saw against Everton, he came on as a sub. Man United is 3-2 up. He causes a foul. Everton equalizes as a result. Against Sheffield United as well, he started that game at the back. United lost. And as you're saying, now 19th on the log, 20th on the log, United lost to those guys as well. So that defense really, maybe in the end of the season, the owners of United need to do something about that defense, because at this point, I don't see them winning any titles. Maybe second or third, the best that they can get for now. But that defense needs some work, and maybe Eric Bailly, if he can overcome his injury problems, he might be able to partner one of these guys and be a regular in the team. But with these guys at the back, Maguire and Lindelof, United is going to keep on dropping points and scratching their heads at what if.
That's your captain, eh? But hey, I don't know. Even I also had questions about that 80 million price tag. But I don't know. I think personally he's playing a little better than he did last season. Because last season, everyone was like, this dude was 80 million. But I don't know. Nene, what do you think? I mean, I watched that game. We watched that game together, that West Brom game and Man United game. And to me, it just seemed West Brom are worst strikers, are probably the worst goal scorers in the league, because they could have won that game. They could have scored 2-3 more goals. what do you think of Man United's performance?
Yeah, you're right. West Brom could have won the game. Maguire was just too soft. He was being bullied. They were pushing him around. And that's, as you said, when it's 80 million, Van Dijk seems to be the guy that uses as a measure to say this is how a defender needs to be. And he was also an 80 million pound defender. So you're already looking at the likes of John Stones, Van Dijk, Diaz, Laporte. That's the kind of defenders that we're comparing Harry Maguire to. So he might be a 20 million pound defender, according to what Wonga's saying. But when we look at him as neutrals, we're looking at him in the same league because of his price tag, and we're expecting him to perform the exact same way as the other guys that I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
And so he's not really good enough. And we don't know. I wouldn't say whether, as Lubonga is saying, it's the partnership that he's got. Maybe if he's got another player, another strong defender that Man United can get in, and then maybe he'll be able to up his game a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 2 games in a row where they've drawn the game. The Everton one is more painful because they were almost winning the game, 3-2. But the West Brom one against 19 takes me back to what you said a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where you said all the teams are gonna get relegated with the points.
Yeah.
That you needed to win the league or secure top 4.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they've lost to Sheffield, and they've now lost to, they've drawn with West Brom. So, that's what, 5 points lost against relegation teams, which are definitely going to get relegated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be strange. Those 5 points, they put them in a different position to where they are now. So, yeah, it's a tough one for United.
Okay, so if we think that the defense is a problem, then what's DJ would be the solution? Is it because Maguire's a captain? First of all, he's been there for less than 2 seasons and he's the captain. I think the issue is leadership already there. That's your new transfer because of his price tag or whatever the reasons. He wears the armband when there's guys who were there before him. But then if the defense is the issue, what do you do? What's the better matchup if you're going to remove one of those 2 defenders in Lindelof and Maguire?
I'd put Maguire by his aggressive. He doesn't get bullied. He's the one who bullies you. Fine, he picks up the card, but with him at the back, whichever striker is facing Man United, he knows he's in for a tough challenge ahead because Baye is not just going to push you, he's going to bully you, he's going to be all over you. It's either one of you, it's either the ball remains behind or it's the player. So he doesn't allow himself to get bullied and get turned inside out. Whereas you have these 2 guys, Maguire and Lindelof, the whole game you might be winning, and then just at one moment, a striker will just go in between them or around them, and they are falling or they don't match up to the physicality of their striker, and they fall down. The guy goes on to score. So 2 seasons they've been playing together, and there's still question marks around them. So I don't see where it's going to improve, really.
Sure. So,
Maguire...
Carry on, sorry.
As you said, Maguire, he came in and was given the arm. This is Man United. It's not some mid-table team that you can just come. It's a pressure on its own, playing for Man United. Even more pressure is added when you are the guy that everyone has to look up to as the main man. And you knew with Man United, the captains that we've had in the past, your Roy Keanes, your Nemanja Vidic, Stuart Robson, those guys, even Steve Bruce, those guys were tough. They used to let you know if you're not putting in the work that, hey, you're not at your father's house. Yeah. This is a game. Get your mind right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Harry Maguire, you don't see him lashing into players, you know. You want to see that as a team, you know, show that you are the captain of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Nene, as we're just gonna take a step forward now, and we're gonna just change focus to Arsenal now, and a welcome victory for Arsenal. They took leads to the park and won 4-2. They were 4-0 up with just after the second half started, and Aubameyang gets his hat trick. What's your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, man. Big up for Aubameyang. He's back. We all missed him.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really over the moon about that victory. Because I mean we've lost so many games and games that we actually thought we were gonna win. So going into this game, we had mixed emotions, and then all of a sudden we 4-0 up, and which was good. But then again, these guys pulled 2 goals back, and had the game gone on for like another 10 or 15 minutes, probably it would have been 4-3, 4-3, or it would have been a draw. But that's the type of game that it was yesterday, where had there been extra minutes, that game, could have slipped away from us. So I'm not particularly happy about that victory, considering how poor the team was the few games before that. And typical Arsenal, where when we start winning a couple of games, then the hype gets built that we're going on a run, and then we become worse off than we were before the so-called run. So I'm not really thrilled about that victory. If it was 4-0 or if it ended at 4-1, maybe. But them conceding those 2 goals, then all the pressure that Leeds put on later on in the game, could have resulted in us drawing the game, or just literally just finishing the game on the edge of our seats, wondering what the hell is going to happen here. So yeah, that's typical Arsenal. I'm not convinced. There's tough games ahead. And if they do the same thing they did against Leeds with the other teams, like your Liverpool, your City, then they're gonna get punished. So yeah, for me, it's not a game that I can say that I'm happy about. And as actually, it did nothing. We're still 10th, so it didn't even move us up the table. So, and the other teams that are around us have games in hand. So if those teams win their games in hand, you probably slip up the table. So to me, that game meant nothing. It should have been the cherry on top. We should have beaten Wolves. We should have beaten Villa, and this would have been a nice cherry on top. 9 points, and we could be sitting in a much a more different. We could be on 40 points, which is like around fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
But then when you lost those 2 games and you won a game that actually meant nothing, you're still stuck where you are. And if the other teams win the games in hand, you're gonna go even worse off than you are. So for me, it's neither there nor there, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's a bit rough,
Yeah.
because I mean, they've got their scoring boots on. Aubameyang finally gets a hat trick. He gets over the real issues he has. He had personal problems leading up to this game. He's put that behind him, and it just shows that. I mean, for me, it looks like these dudes just let their foot off the gas when they got to 4-0. So won't you think that it's a bit of just saying that the 2 goals came in because they just fell asleep after 4-0?
Nah, this is typical Arsenal, man. That game could have been 2-0 up at that moment. And whenever it gets to those parts of the games, back in November, it's a 0-0 game, last minute, boom, 1-0, and we lost the game. So there's too many games where we lost them very late in the game, and you start off the game on a high note, which is good. You 4-0 up. I'm thinking, do what City did. Just manage the game, Just don't let the opponents get the ball. Just keep playing with the ball. Keep playing with the ball. Instead they decided to let Leeds have possession. We're playing at home, and we let a team that's newly promoted even get 2 goals from 4-0 down. I mean, that's unacceptable. I don't even know. You can't even be happy about that. If it was Liverpool and Arsenal and we went 4-0 up and won 4-2, I'd be like, yeah, okay. They were trying to come back in the game and we had it in check. But this is Leeds, manage the game. These guys are 4-0 down. They probably already think, you know what, this is done. We're not gonna win. Just keep the ball away from them, frustrate them, manage the game. They did nothing. These guys kept coming on. That's what I'm saying. If the game went on another 10 or 15 minutes, guaranteed it would have been a 4-4 game. Or we could have lost. So yeah.
Okay. DJ, what's your thoughts on Arsenal on how far they can probably climb up the table? Knowing that the top four is 40 points at the moment.
No. Let's just get that clear. Top four is way above Arsenal right now. Way.
Okay.
As I said before, Arsenal is like a yo-yo. This week they are up, next week they are down. I mean, they go on this run, they'll win 2-3 games in a row, then they lose another 4 or 5 after that, and they don't really climb up the table and such. So the teams above them are doing well and they have games in hand. So Arsenal really, it's
yeah. Okay.
touch and go for them.
Yeah. All right. Then let's move from the yo-yo team to the team that's falling like a hailstone from the heavens. Liverpool, the Merseyside boys, losing again, 3rd straight defeat, losing to Leicester City 3-1. Nene, if you can just give us your insights on what do you think has gone wrong at Merseyside?
Yeah, man, at Merseyside, I think it's the keeper, man. There's something wrong with that guy. There's probably some psychological things going on with Alisson. I think all along with Liverpool, we're solely focused on the defense, saying that they've got defensive issues. But if you look at it, the guys that have been filling in at defense, they haven't exactly made mistakes, to say that, look, they cost the game. It's Henderson. He was poor. He's not your typical defender. Those guys, they've been doing the business, The challenge has been the keeper. The keeper hasn't been performing. He's let the team down. Yes, he's excelled before, saved the team from, many games. But I think right now, as a senior player and the team struggling the way it is, you'd expect that the keeper will step up. Now's not the time for with players like Mane losing and also losing form at the same time. So I think it's just the keeper. I can see the defense, but I think the goalkeeper errors have just been too much for Liverpool.
Okay. DJ, what are your thoughts?
They have lost the fear factor in them anymore. I mean, teams are playing against Liverpool, they're actually fancying a win. Like, let's go for it. I mean, we can take these guys on. I mean, they just lost the last game, so why can't we win? And Leicester was at home, mind you. So
yeah,
with Jamie Vardy back. And as Nene said, the keeper, maybe having that full strength Liverpool with all the players there, he was protected in a way because he did make these mistakes earlier on in his Liverpool career, but then they were not as costly because he had a Van Dijk who would save him. But now, we've lost your main defenders and everything is now coming to light. Everyone is seeing that, so, okay, the keeper is not really as good as we thought he is, and he's making a lot of mistakes. So, yeah, tough times for Liverpool, I must say, because really to be dropping points at such rates and you are the defending champions. I mean, these guys are supposed to at least mount a challenge or something to try to defend the title, but now it's looking like they're just chasing for top 4. And that's sad, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it from us on this segment of our episode of Football Extreme. Stay tuned, Football Extremers. We're going to be covering more topics such as the relegation zone, as well as our up-and-coming youngsters that are making a big splash in the Premier League this season. So don't forget to continue to like our content and subscribe to our channel so that you can get updates on our latest content. And stay tuned for more Football Extreme, everyone. See you soon in the next episode.
Cheers, everyone.